Open up. Shut it down like a Macintosh. Open up. Open.
Hey guys, it's Tiffany and we're back with another quarantine road trip / Black Lives Matter. Power to the black people. So today's vlog is featuring Lydia. Welcome back, Lydia, with her lemonade. Well, those are not lemonade braids, but her go get a girl braids. Knotless box braids. Those are go get a girl braids because she's trying to be a go get a girl. And then we also have Miss Nevaeh in the back. Hey girl. So we are now on our way to Birmingham, which was where we were originally headed in our last vlog video. So if you haven't seen that video, make sure you go and look at the vlog quarantine road trip video on my page. And so we're on our way to Birmingham and we're headed to a peaceful protest where we'll be protesting for African American lives and the treatment of African Americans in the United States. So we're really excited about this. This is something that randomly we came up with this morning to do. Lydia sent me the flyer for it and I was like, wait a minute, this is in Birmingham. You know, we're gonna have to take a little drive for that. But it's definitely worth it. It's not that far of a drive and it's for absolutely a great cause. And one thing that I really do believe is that we can't stop saying that Black Lives Matter, and we can't start saying that all lives matter until we start recognizing that Black lives do matter. And whether you're black, white, or any other race, you have to stand up for what is right. And we want to stand up for what's right, and we want to bring justice in any way that we possibly can. So that's why we decided that we were going to go ahead and get up on this early Sunday morning and go to the peaceful protest. So we're really excited about it. And I definitely know it's totally a God thing, and like God wants us to definitely be doing this. I was telling Lydia, like, this morning I was looking on social media and I saw all types of just videos about what's going on in America right now, and typically I just kind of click off once I've been overwhelmed or overloaded with too much, because sometimes I don't really know how to process my emotions and how I feel about it, so I'll just ignore it and I put it off to the side, which is not helpful because that doesn't change anything. So I felt like doing that this morning after seeing everything, but I definitely had a level of conviction on this morning just about like me taking a stance. Like, if you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. So I had a level of just conviction about taking a stance, having an opinion about it, and really having to sit and deal with my emotions towards what's going on in America right now, and then making a conscious decision to make a stand. So when she sent the flyer this morning, I was like, oh, this is literally perfect timing because I'm literally having a moment. So, and it wasn't just an emotional thing, it was, I know I need to do this kind of thing. So Lydia invited me, I invited Nevaeh, and here we are. We are on our way to protest, and it's been a minute since I've been to any type of protest or just any type of African American rights kind of march or whatever the case is. We went to Selma to march last year, so that was a good experience for the Bloody Sunday anniversary. And then prior to that, I definitely did some marches, some Black Lives Matter marches in college, and that was really fun. I went to Washington, D.C. and did that. So that was really, really fun, but that was 5+ years ago. So yeah, definitely 5+ years ago. So, you know, it's definitely time to keep implementing those types of experiences in my life. So that's another reason why, another pusher to why we're doing this on today. So we're on the way there. Lydia, so how do you feel about this protest that we're headed to? Like, were you nervous at all? You know, even though it's a peaceful protest, you never know what's going to happen. So what are your feelings? How are you feeling about this protest?
I definitely feel like you said, it's a God thing. I definitely think that we are meant to go, supposed to go. I woke up, like Tiffany, looking at the videos and just feeling like a heart tug, like you need to do something, you need to go out and do something. So when I stumbled upon the flyer of having a peaceful protest, and the fact that it's at the 16th Street Baptist Church, where the 4 little girls unfortunately got bombed in that church so long ago, and well, not that long ago. Yeah. But just to be a part of that history, I think it's really important. I think I do have nerves, but I think it's good nerves. I think it's bad when
too. Like, we're not going by ourselves. We're doing it with, you know, friends and stuff. All right, Miss Nevaeh, how do you feel about this? Like, you kind of randomly definitely got thrown into this. Like, but you were down though. Like, I told Nevaeh this morning, like, hey, we're going to a march this morning, so wake up and get clothes on. And she was like, okay, cool, let's go. Like, you were pretty down. So how are you feeling about it?
I feel like it's kind of sad that we still have to protest for things like this.
Yeah.
We definitely need a change. So if we're going to have to keep protesting until someone hears us, I feel like that's a good thing.
Yeah.
I feel like it's good that the Black community or any community can come together and protest for something like this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just excited.
Yes, that's really good. First of all, let me tell you how wise this young woman is. Like, for her to be able to say, it is very sad that in 2020 we still have to protest for things like this. It is. It's very disheartening because we were assuming that racism was getting better, but it's not. It's just being televised now. And not that it wasn't televised before, but people are just recording, like, in the moment racism. Like, there's just too many, it's way too many deaths, regardless of, you know, the death rate compared to other ways of dying. It's 1,000 people too many. You know, like, it's just ridiculous. People should not be dying and being treated the way that they're being treated, which is unfairly, because we know that if it was our white counterparts who were in the exact same situation with the exact same criminal history, that would not be the case. Those would not be the same outcomes. So it's an injustice. So we still have to fight. We still have to protest. We still have to lift every voice, literally, so that all people can be treated fairly and all people have to come together. So it's not just the African American thing, even though it's happening directly to our community and affecting us directly. It's not just the us thing. It's really, but if it affects us, then it affects America, because we're part of America. So it's an everybody thing. It's a call and a responsibility for everybody to do something about it, have a stand, you know, and so if you're not a part of the solution, then you're part of the problem. Like, even if you are just like, oh, that's really bad, but yeah, I'm not gonna go and help or aid in anything, then you're part of the problem, because they can use your voice matters. They can use your voice. They can use your assistance. They can use use you just as a human to support other human rights. So I'm really excited. I definitely, like Lydia, kind of have some nerves, but I know that we're covered. I'm not really scared. I'm just kind of, I guess, anxious to see what it's going to be like, and I'm excited to hold some signs. We're going to make some signs, so that's going to be really good. I already have what I'm going to put on my sign. So keep watching for the rest of this journey.
Don't shoot! 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 Police! No peace! No peace! Police!
Okay, and we're live. So we're back. We're on our way back to Huntsville. So we have had a journey and experience today. And Nevaeh is knocked out sleep. You know, we was in the sun for a good little minute. So being in the sun definitely wears you and drains you. So we understand why she knocked out, because she drained. The sun didn't drain the woman of God. But right, we all drained for real, and we didn't eat, so we got itis / being drained / sleepy. It's an interesting combination. Shout out to Purity on Purpose. Yeah, if you want a shirt, see me in the comments. Or follow my Instagram page at Purity on Purpose Inc. and get you a shirt. But anyways, okay, Lydia. So now that the day is over, we have gone to the rally / march / that's all the slashes. Protest, yes, / protest. Now that we finished that and had that experience, overall, what was your experience like?
I thought it was amazing. I was telling Tiffany, like, I just really like the unification of all the people coming together. You know, there was people of color, there was white people, just all kind of people coming together for a common cause and a common goal. And like just the energy behind it was amazing. Like,
Yeah.
even when we were getting tired, we were like, I can't breathe, and doing all the chanting, it was like you keep going because there's just so much energy behind it. And so that was like the best part to me.
Okay. Yes, definitely. People were out there. You can tell everybody who came out there. There wasn't too many people who were spectating. It was people who came out there to be out there to, do what they came to do. And even there were people who I saw kind of like jumped in, like they may have just been walking downtown. They were like walking their dog or just going for a walk, or just in like the park downtown, and they kind of jumped into the protest. Like they were just like, well, I support what y'all are doing, so I'm jumping in too. So I thought that was really, really unique. And it was a non-violent protest, so I want to just make that clear. Like, we were not breaking into cars or breaking into buildings or setting things on fire. And some of the protests have turned into that and have become very violent, just there's been casualties and just injuries, and it's just, you almost lose sight of what the purpose is when you bring violence into it. Even though for some people violence is understandable, they understand why, like some communities understand why people will get violent, because they feel like, peaceful protests are not as effective, so they decide that they want to be violent. So if that's your choice, then that's your choice. This was not that, and that is also not my standpoint on protesting either. And this definitely helped me realize where I think my place would be. Protests, like I said earlier in this video, protests are not something that I've done consistently or even often. I've participated in them before, but they're not something that I do all the time. I think that for me, I really have to believe in the cause and the purpose of the protest before I invest and give my all and be out in the hot sun all day. So I do definitely believe.
Really?
And, right, this car is driving a little crazy.
He was on my butt.
Yeah, and I'm glad they just ended up going around, because it was kind of like, yeah, you're doing the most for what. But anyways, protesting is something that I think can be effective, but I also think that there are other ways to fight and other ways to get your point across. And I definitely think, like, even, people who want to see a change, they push past the protest, and they're like, they want to change laws, and they want to, even change, like, city officials, state officials, so they push towards regulations and laws and things being changed. And then there are some who protest in the streets to bring awareness to what's going on. So I think that everybody definitely plays a part. I personally, now that I've experienced this particular protest and others before, I think that I'm not against protesting at all. I probably will definitely participate in more. But I think my passion and I'm like, well, what's next? Like, what we gonna do? Like, yeah, we marched to the street with these signs, and people really supported us, and nothing negative happened, and that was really great. I'm glad to that I was a part of something that was truly nonviolent. But what's next? Like, we did all this for all these people who have died. Like, how are we gonna make their legacy live on? So I want to be involved in, like, petitions, and going to a city official meeting and saying, okay, we've had these protesters, there may be some truth to what they're saying, what they desire to see. This is what, kind of being that voice, like, this is what we desire to see, and then this is how we're going to try to push it, push our own personal, not our personal, but our community's agenda.
I think that we also need to go into Black communities and build up those communities too, because, like, our communities can be stronger, and they need to be stronger. And I think, like, that's kind of where my passion lies. Let's go build up the Black family. Let's build up the Black community. Let's build up the Black man and the Black woman. So that way, when we do things like this, we are collectivists and we're not going out and burning things down. And because I can totally understand the rage. I understand where the violence is coming from, but that rage can be turned into energy to get some other things done.
Yeah, and that's really good. I think that you said something real good, like building up the Black community so that you can be diverse in how you fight. Like, you're fighting, your weapon shouldn't always just be a gun or a knife or fire. That cannot be our only weapon. So if that's your only weapon, that's your only means of getting attention, we might be in trouble, But because as an oppressed people, sometimes you feel like that's your only option, and because it's worked in the past, like violence and being extreme has worked in the past, we sometimes will feel like that's how we have to get our point across, because we are so badly depressed, or oppressed. But I feel like if you open up people's mind to how to truly get change, because that sparks attention, but it doesn't always spark change,
Right.
even though they think it may spark change. So I think if you build up communities, build up families, and educate them on what you need to do and how to do it, then I think that is more of a powerful tool than setting things on fire. So I definitely think that my standpoint and my view, I probably won't be as many protests, but and that's not to say I won't ever go to a protest or that I don't believe in them. That's absolutely not what I'm saying. But I probably will definitely be like, okay, come on, we need to have some city meetings. We need to do some city, police, maybe even clergy, unifying things, meetings, organizations to get all those important key community people on one accord so that we can really start building up our community. So, but yeah, overall, I think today was a good day. It opened up my eyes just to see some perspective. Now, I think that there were definitely some people who were out there just to be out there.
Yeah.
Poor people. I'm like, y'all know what you're watching for? But so I definitely think there's people who were out there just to be out there, but I definitely think there was people who had so much passion, and even so much so that they were moved to tears. There were people who were emotional just about what has been happening in America, and I thought that was amazing. African Americans and Caucasian people were out there moved literally to tears by just what has, just talking about what has been going on in America. So I thought that was very interesting to see Caucasian people cry and be emotional about what's going on. So yeah, overall I think it was pretty good. And now I think that I'm revved up to definitely just educate, because I work with kids and young minds just in general, because I work with all young people who are considered young, from young adults to young kids to young teens or whatever the case may be. So I think I'm just really excited to educate minds and just really help people be aware of what's going on and aware so that they can live to see tomorrow, so that they can live to fight tomorrow, and fighting doesn't always mean physical. So yeah, I'm excited. Lydia, are you excited for social justice and change is coming to America? And also, at the end of the day, we need to continue to pray. If you are a Christian, you are called to pray as much as you post, as much as you are angry, as all that energy that you put into being angry, into posting, into, vocalizing your emotions and feelings, you also need to be praying. Because at the end of the day, we don't wrestle against flesh and blood. And one of my close friends, she did a video on Instagram. Shout out to you, Chantrice Harris. But she did a video on Instagram talking about as much as you post, you should be praying. And she was just saying, it's okay to post. Not saying that you shouldn't post. It's okay to have emotion towards it. But we know that we don't wrestle against flesh and blood, but against spirits and principalities. So the spirit of racism is what's resting on these people who are doing these killings. And so you can't fight a spirit by shooting it, or by setting it on fire, or by protesting. We can bring awareness to people who can make the change, but you don't fight a spirit in the physical realm. So you can't shoot a spirit, you can't beat up a spirit. You fight it spirit by a spirit. You try the spirit by the spirit. So you fight a spirit by combating it with prayer. So I think that's just as important as holding up a sign. So, or even as lobbying lobbying for a bill or a law to be passed. It's just as important, So yeah, that's my overall experience and perspective on today. And see you guys next time on the next episode of Tip Streets. Bye, guys.